They're trying to buy a sail.
From the looks of you, I would sort of... Well, I'll tell you once you buy that from me. Please, I beg of you, the man suddenly said as a plea. I wish to open a business here in this town, so I am in desperate need of finances. How does 80 rupees sound? Also, an heirloom is not something that you had and you only had. It's something that gets passed down through generations, so his terminology is wrong. How does 80 rupees sound? Ivan looked over his right shoulder at Link. So, green guy, do you have the money to buy that, or what? Link looked annoyed at this. Oh, great. What is it? Lucario asked. The Hylian grunted a bit in annoyance. By coincidence, I had 80 rupees some time ago, but if it weren't for Tetra, I could have had enough rupees to buy the sail. Chris looked bored at him. Well, who was the one who spent the 50 rupees on sinking ships and took time away for, like, forever? Jan hopped a bit. Ooh, my best score is 14 used cannonballs in that game. Link wanted to ignore the fact that a kid younger than him had beaten his record previously. You're not helping here to solve this dilemma, he yelled annoyed before crossing his arms. I'm so broke of money right now. He took out his sword and smiled bored. Well, time to go jaw-breaking around the town. Lucario frowned at this. I suppose there isn't any other way to buy that from the merchant. Sell his body. Ivan chuckled. Why bother going around breaking jars when you can ask other people for some money? Oh, good. We're going to get a begging side plot? That's going to be fun. I just want them to get on the fucking sail and get out of here. Maybe there'll be a plot at some point. Fancy that. The trio looked at the kids. What's that supposed to mean? Chris asked, confused. The killer bees looked at each other, nodded, looked back at the tree, and showed them 20 rupees each on their hands, summing up an amount of 80 rupees. Never mind. I was being too presumptive of Aura Chandler Chris and his excellent story writing abilities. He can just seek us forward into the next segment. Wonderful. Showed them 20 rupees each on their hands, summing up a total amount of 80 rupees. Ta-da! Jan said. Link gasped. Chris looked surprised, and Lucario stared at the sparkling rupees. The Hylian looked at Ivan. Hey, what are you doing? Link asked. What? You don't want to buy that? Ivan asked. Come on, we're actually being cool by giving you the money you need. Think of this as a special service by yours truly, the Killer Bees. Link looked at the silent merchant. But what if that ends up being something worthless? The man chuckled. Oh, please, don't think badly of that, he said. I'm sure that you will like that very much. Link looked unsure at this. He hated the kids very much for being very bratty, but it looked like they were actually trying to give them a hand. The Hylian thought hard for a moment before he nodded at the kids and took their rupees away from their hands. Presumably from. Chris and Lucario actually smiled a bit at this generous display of help from the Killer Bees before the sentence just kind of... It's happened a couple of times in the story where the sentence just kind of ends halfway through. There's no conclusion. It's not like he forgot a full stop or something. It's just kind of he forgets to finish the sentence. Link walked to the counter and showed the man the money. We want to buy that, Link said to the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper seemed very pleased at this. Yes, thank you very much indeed. I have received precisely 80 rupees for it, he said. I can use these funds to finance my new business. Oh dear me, what a happy day, he said, very excited. Very well, young master. As I promised, please take that with you. The shopkeeper ducked to get something out of the counter. Out from the counter. The 7 characters then found the item the shopkeeper was referring to as that turned out to be a nice white long sail with a green wind emblem in the centre. Oh, good. At last, the item Link wanted to get was his to take. The Hylian smiled a bit at the sight of the sail that he held it up above him. Yeah, just like in the games! He's doing the thing from the games! This action was taken as odd, since not everyone quite understood why Link was holding it up with a hand. Link! Chris yelled. Link snapped out from his little trance before he pulled down the sail and looked at the happy shopkeeper. Yes. You have made a good purchase today, my young master. You have saved my life and business as well. Treasure it dearly, It is the finest sale in the world. Treat it as such, the shopkeeper exclaimed happily. Link sighed in relief as he held the sail on his arms. Now we can go out to the sea with this, he said. That means we can leave this island at any time. The killer bees didn't like the idea, since every single one of them crossed their arms at this. Hey, you're already leaving? Gian Roberto asked. That's not so cool, Jan said. Yeah, we thought you guys would stick around some more, Jin said. Well, you're mistaken. Ivan grunted, annoyed. All right, we don't have the authority to make you stay here even longer. He looked away. You can go away now. As Link looked annoyed at this sign of disrespect, Chris recalled the favor they were asked to do. Oh, by the way, we have a message from Mrs. Marie to you. The killer bees looked at him. A message from her? It's weird that she didn't come directly to us to tell us what she wanted, Jan said. Ivan rolled his eyes. Well, what did she ask? Go ahead and tell, because we don't like to talk much about school-related stuff, or Mrs. Marie herself. Link looked miffed at this. Stupid brats. Yeah, you're not too concerned about school. He's fucking 10 years old. Why isn't he going to fucking school? If he cares about it so much, practice what you fucking preach. Whatever. Well, Mrs. Marie said that... I thought it was Miss Marie. Oh, there was a whole bit where she kind of became married and then stopped being married about 3 or 4 times in the same paragraph. Well, Mrs. Marie said that you should stop causing trouble around town and come back to school more often, Chris explained. She said that she doesn't want to force you to come, but she's worried that you four won't grow up to be fine civilians. Gian Roberto looked away. What does she know? She's just trying to sound sweet to pull us back to class. And the killer bees don't like to be taught, Jin said. We taught people back instead. Chris looked worried. But seriously, you need to go back to her. She looked very worried about your welfare. Ivan thought for a moment. Adults are always trying to boss us around so much that it gets so sick to do much later. They think they can do anything they want, and they don't want us to play a lot, like we want. Lucario shook his head. If you ask me, they're doing this so you can have a good future ahead of you. The ones being disrespectful here are all of you. Oh no, this is so fucking cheesy. Oh boy. The moral of the story. The killer bees stared at Lucario. I'm telling the truth when I say that the adults are trying to keep you away from harm, Lucario explained. You should know better that you cause a lot of mischief around town, that it annoys everyone. Soon, when you least expect it, you're going to be in jail, wishing to have another opportunity to amend for your wrongdoings. And nobody will be able to help you out from that situation. I mean, going to prison isn't the end of the world. There are rehabilitation programs, you know. Not everyone spends like... It's not like the Shawshank Redemption. You don't like spend 20 years in jail and come out and hang yourself, you know, because you don't know how to deal with the outside world. There are opportunities to recover from spending time in prison. But no, you're doomed. Of course, I forgot. Link and Chris stared a bit surprised at Lucario before looking back at the killer bees. It seemed that the 4 children were looking worried at each other at this lecture from the Aura Pokemon. In truth, the lecture had given them some kind of a realization. Oh dear. Oh dear. Ivan looked away. Well, when you put it that way, I wouldn't like to be in jail like that strange man was. Then don't touch kids. Not that you do, but don't. That's a very scary thought, Jin admitted. I don't want to end up as a criminal. Jan looked worried. I don't want people to think I'm a very bad boy. Gian Roberto sniffed a bit. And I don't want my mummy to hate me either. Sorry, mommy. I don't want my mommy to hate me either. Where's that? Where is that? Mommy. Alright. The trio blinked a few times at this before Ivan cleared his throat and looked back at them. Okay. You have a point there now, he said with a serious look. If what you said is true, then fine. We'll promise to attend classes. Another day's work, a good day's work done by Lucario there. It's good for the community. He's helping everyone out. He's a good person at heart, except when he's killing people.